Welcome students. In today's session, we will study about transportation in humans. In last video, we have studied about transportation in plants. There we have studied about xylem and phloem tissue, transport of water and minerals, and transport of food. Today, we will study about transportation in humans. Students, in human beings, transportation is known as circulatory system. The system which is responsible for transportation of substance in humans is known as circulatory system. In circulatory system, the fluid which is present inside the body circulates inside the body, and that's why it is called circulatory system. The system includes a circulating fluid, tubes, and a pumping organ, that is heart. Now, depending upon the type of fluid circulating, that's why it is called circulatory system. Depending upon, there are two fluids which circulates inside the body, and depending upon those fluid, the human circulatory system has been divided in two parts. The first one is blood vascular system, where blood circulates as circulatory fluid, and the second one is lymphatic system, where lymph circulates. Blood vascular system and lymphatic system, these are two parts of human circulatory system. First of all, we will discuss about blood vascular system. Human blood vascular system consists of three components: blood, which is the circulatory fluid; blood vessels or tubes inside which blood moves; and heart, which is the pumping organ which makes the blood move. So there are three components of blood vascular system: blood, blood vessels, and heart. Students, the components of blood. Human blood has two parts. We have studied about human blood as connective tissue in standard 9. Blood is a liquid connective tissue. It is red in color that circulates in body, supplying nutrients and oxygen to all the cells and collects and takes away waste materials from there. Blood also maintains body temperature and pH of body. Blood circulates, moves throughout the body and carries substances along with it. Blood is made up of two components. You can see over here. The first component is plasma. Plasma is a pale colored, slightly alkaline fluid. It provides the liquid base. In plasma, other particles are suspended. Blood is liquid due to presence of this plasma. Plasma contains water, proteins, nutrients, inorganic salts, waste materials, hormones, gases, etc. Plasma contains a substance called heparin, which prevents blood from clotting inside the vessels. The other part of blood is called blood corpuscles. It constitutes about 45% of blood, and it is of three types. The very first is RBC, WBC, and platelets. RBC are red blood corpuscles or erythrocytes. These are also known as erythrocytes. These are red in color, as the name suggests. These are red due to presence of iron containing reddish pigment called hemoglobin. Lifespan of RBC is about 120 days. Spleen. Spleen is an organ which is called graveyard of RBC as well as blood bank of the body. Why it is called so? It is called so because older RBCs are destroyed there inside the spleen, as well as a large number of fresh RBC is stored over there for meeting any emergency condition. It means कि spleen contains fresh RBCs as well as the older RBCs are destroyed over there. RBC have a major function of oxygen transport as it contains hemoglobin. Hemoglobin carries oxygen. Hemoglobin binds oxygen and carries it to different places, different cells of the body. The second part of blood corpuscles is WBC. WBC or white blood corpuscles. It is also called leukocytes. These are colorless blood particles, blood corpuscles of different shapes and sizes. Lifespan of WBC is 12 hours to few days. WBCs are of different types. These are the basis for immunity against various pathogens and infections. WBC are soldiers of our body which prevent our body from germs and infections. These fights with external entry foreign particles and protects ourselves and provides us immunity. The third type of blood corpuscles is called platelets. These are colorless, non-nucleated cell fragments of various shapes. These are various irregular shapes. The lifespan of platelets is 7 to 10 days. Blood platelets helps in blood clotting. The major role of blood platelets is there in blood clotting. Blood clotting is a defensive mechanism of our body against blood loss. Now we will discuss about blood clotting mechanism. Blood clotting mechanism. When a person gets injured and bleeding starts, it can be very harmful due to blood loss. Our body has natural mechanism to defend such condition. This is called blood clotting mechanism. This is to prevent blood loss due to any injury. As soon as the bleeding starts due to some injury, the platelets rupture. The injury damages the tissue, and damaged tissue, inside that damaged tissue, the platelets got ruptured. The ruptured platelets release a substance called thromboplastin. This thromboplastin is in presence of calcium ion acts on a plasma protein called prothrombin. Prothrombin is a protein present in plasma and it is formed in liver in presence of vitamin K. Vitamin K is essential for formation of this prothrombin inside the liver, and after formation it gets mixed into the plasma. So after injury, ruptured platelets release thromboplastin, which in presence of calcium ion acts on prothrombin and converts it into thrombin. Thrombin acts on a soluble plasma protein called fibrinogen in presence of calcium ion. Fibrinogen is a soluble protein present inside the plasma. Since it is soluble, it gets mixed in the plasma and when thrombin in presence of calcium ion acts on it, it gets converted into insoluble fibrin. Fibrinogen gets converted into fibrin, which is insoluble. Fibrin undergoes rapid polymerization to form long fibers. These long fibers form a network over the damaged wall of blood vessels and exposed part of the skin. It forms a network around that damaged area, that injured area. It interrupts blood corpuscles and forms a jelly-like blood clot. The clot finally contracts and solidifies to seal the point of injury and prevent the blood loss. Blood stops, bleeding stops, and the loss of blood is prevented. So this is the entire blood clotting mechanism. Again, you can see over here, as the place of injury, the tissue gets injured. After this, the platelets are ruptured. The ruptured platelets secretes thromboplastin, which in presence of calcium ion acts on prothrombin. Prothrombin is a plasma protein which by the action of thromboplastin gets converted into thrombin. Again, this thrombin in presence of calcium ion acts on soluble plasma protein called fibrinogen and converts it into insoluble fibrin. Since it is insoluble, it forms a network of mesh on the injured area and forms the blood clot, which stops the bleeding. Functions of blood. Blood is a very important fluid present in our body. It performs various functions. We have studied about different components of blood and their function. Along with those functions, blood performs some other functions like transport of nutrients. Blood transport several nutrients such as sugar, amino acids, minerals, vitamins, etc. These are picked up by blood from intestine and transported to different parts of the body for storage and assimilation. It is a very important function of blood. The second function is transport of oxygen. Blood transports oxygen from respiratory surface to the tissues for utilization in respiration. It is performed with the help of hemoglobin present in RBC. Third function of blood is transport of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, which is formed during respiration, is taken by blood to respiratory surface for elimination so that it can be breathed out from the body. Next function is transport of waste products. Blood carries nitrogenous waste from various parts of the body to the kidneys for separation and elimination. Next function is transport of hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers produced inside endocrine glands, and from endocrine glands these hormones are released into blood for transport to target tissues. As endocrine glands don't have any tubes or ducts, that's why these release their secretion directly into blood, and through blood these hormones are carried to target cells or target organs. Next function is maintenance of water balance inside the body. Circulating blood provides water and inorganic salts in the region of deficiency and removes the same in the area of access. So, in that manner, it maintains the water balance inside the body. Next function is regulation of body temperature. Blood distributes heat to all parts of the body it also conducts heat to the surface for dissipation, so that there is no difference in body temperature. Like the exposed areas, the skin is exposed to sun or the heat, there is high temperature at the surface near skin, and deep inside the body the temperature may be low. Blood helps in the regulation of body temperature. The next function is maintenance of pH. Blood maintains the pH of tissue fluid with the help of various buffers present in it, and wherever it is required, it dissolves or secretes these and maintains the pH. Body defense is another function of blood, as blood contains phagocytic, leukocytes and immunocytes for defense against germs that we have studied in the WBC segment of the same video. Blood helps in body defense as it has WBC for defensive mechanism, and it prevents our body from various germs, pathogens and infection. And the next function of blood, that it helps in plugging areas of injury with the help of platelets. In the region of injury, the blood coagulates and seals the region to prevent the excess blood loss and to check the entry of germs. In this way, blood is not lost by the body and the germs are not able to enter inside the body. So these are functions of blood, which is very important part of the body. This is your assignment questions that you have to do. You have to answer all these questions. You will get the answers in the video itself. The first question, name different types of circulatory system present in humans. The second question, name different types of blood corpuscles present in human blood. Third question is, explain blood clotting mechanism. Fourth question, mention any 5 functions of blood. And the fifth question is, how oxygen is transported in human beings. In question number 1 and 2, you have to name only, and in third, fourth and fifth, you have to explain. In third, you will explain blood clotting mechanism. In fourth, you will write down 5 functions of blood and will explain it. And in fifth question, you will explain oxygen transport in human beings. Do all these answers in your copy. If any query is there, you can ask. Thank you. The next part of human blood vascular system is blood vessels. Blood vessels are tubes inside which the blood flows. Human blood flows inside tubes called blood vessels. Blood vessels are of 3 types: arteries, veins and capillaries. There are 3 types of blood vessels: arteries, veins and capillaries. Arteries are blood vessels which carry blood coming from heart to various parts of the body. From heart to different parts, different organs to the body. It carries oxygenated blood. Inside the artery, oxygenated blood, oxygen rich blood flows from heart to different parts of the body. Since it carries oxygenated blood from heart to different organs, due to the pumping activity of the heart, blood flows with jerks, and hence the flow of blood or the speed of blood here is fast. With the flow of blood from it, the artery contracts partially. Only pulmonary artery is the artery which carry deoxygenated blood. Rest all the arteries carry oxygenated blood, but pulmonary artery is exception, which carry deoxygenated blood from heart to lung. The wall of artery is thick. You can see the wall of artery is very thick and the lumen is narrow. Most arteries are deep seated inside the skin. A few arteries are exceptions where the pulse can be felt, but generally rest arteries are placed deep inside the skin. The next blood vessels are veins. Veins are blood vessels which carry blood from different organs or tissues towards the heart. It carry deoxygenated blood from different cells and organs towards the heart. Exception is pulmonary veins that bring oxygenated blood from lungs to the heart. The wall of vein is less thick. It has wide lumen. You can see the difference in the lumens of arteries and veins. Blood flows smoothly without any jerk and slowly inside the veins. To prevent backflow of blood, the inner wall of veins have valves which prevent the backflow of the blood. Now, if we compare the arteries and veins, we will find according to direction of blood flow, in artery, blood flows from heart to body part, while in veins, blood flows from body parts towards the heart. According to speed, inside artery, blood flow is rapid and with jerks, whereas in veins, blood flows slowly and smoothly. Inside the artery, blood flows under pressure due to push or pump from the heart, whereas in veins, there is little pressure. Internal valves are absent in artery, whereas these valves are present in vein. The wall of artery is thick, whereas wall of vein is thin. Arteries have narrow lumen, whereas veins have wide lumen. Artery carry oxygenated blood. Exception is pulmonary arteries. Veins carry deoxygenated blood. Here exception is pulmonary vein. Arteries are present deep inside the body, whereas veins are present at superficial layer. Arteries are not collapsible, whereas vein is collapsible. So these are the difference between these two blood vessels. The third blood vessel is capillary. Capillaries are actually very narrow blood vessels having a single layered wall which form network inside body organs. Actually, capillaries are there to connect arteries and veins. In the structure you can see an artery divides in different arterioles and finally it forms very thin capillaries which join and gets collected as veins. So capillaries are there actually to join arteries and veins. Movement of blood is very slow so as to provide time for exchange of materials. Actually, the blood is transporting substances and that transportation takes place inside the capillaries. Here the flow of blood becomes very slow so that exchange of materials can take place. The wall has very fine pores for exchange of substances between the blood and tissue fluid present outside the blood. Some plasma also filters out of blood capillaries. to become component of tissue fluid. These capillaries are present inside the body organs. An artery divides and redivides to form very fine arterioles. Likewise, veins divides and divides to form venules. These unite as capillary. So students, this is all about blood vessels that you have to know. The topic will be continued in the next video, where we will study about heart, human heart structure and its function. Thank you.